Hey, all you cool cats and kittens, it's your favorite history teacher back at you again with another historical video. Today, we are starting a new unit, a short unit, a quick unit, and that is the rise of totalitarianism. Now, that word might sound familiar because we studied that form of government way back when at the beginning of the term. So let's get into it. Finally, talking about something relevant and interesting for y'all to pay attention to. So this is a 2 title note day. Notice this is the chapter title, Rise of Totalitarianism, chapter 13 in your textbooks. Okay, Rise of Totalitarianism. And today, oh wait, those are the objectives. Hold on real quick. Fascism in Italy. Okay, not fascism, not fascism, fascism in Italy. You heard that term a lot during the election, so hey, we get to talk about it. Anyways, I'm gonna go back because those are the objectives for the entire lecture series. Mr. Ovalle, when he made these a long time ago, thought to streamline the objective process. Okay, objectives. We're going to summarize fascist beliefs and policies. Yeah, belief. We're going to describe Mussolini's rise to power. We're going to illustrate how the USSR operated under Stalin, and we're going to explain how Hitler and the Nazis gained control of Germany. That was your warm-up. All right, so Italy's problems. Everyone has problems, it seems like, in world history. So if you recall that secret agreement that the United States and the Allies brokered with Italy to get them on the Allied power side, yeah, well, that land that was promised to Italy was actually given to form the new Yugoslavia, and that enraged Italian nationalists. Inspired by the revolution in Russia, chaos existed too in Italy. Peasants are going to seize land, workers are going to go on strike or take over factories. Returning veterans from World War I faced unemployment. There was a trade decline, taxes rose. I mean, we got chaos, people. The government split into feuding factions, and they seemed powerless to end all these crises. So Mussolini's rise. So amid this turmoil, a man named Benito Mussolini soon took center stage in Italy. He was the son of a socialist blacksmith and a teacher. Mussolini had been a socialist in his early days. During World War I, he rejected the view of socialism for extreme nationalism. In 1919, he organized unhappy Italians and veterans into what he called the Fascist Party. He took the name from the Latin word fasces, meaning a bundle of sticks wrapped around an axe, or so your book claims. That's the definition. In ancient Rome, the fasces represented unity and authority. Unity! So Mussolini was a fiery and charismatic speaker. He promised to end corruption, replace turmoil with order, and he spoke to reviving Roman greatness and turn the Mediterranean Sea into a, quote, Roman lake once again. So remember, nationalism, the love for your country, the pride in one's country, all that jazz for your country. And, you know, you're hitting on the heartstrings of native Italians if you're saying you're going to bring back the Roman greatness because, you know, the Romans kind of had a big old empire back in the day. So that's a picture of Benito Mussolini. All right, so how did Mussolini rule? He organized supporters into combat squads called black shirts. Notice the color difference when we talk about Hitler. Party militants. These were party militants who rejected the democratic process in favor of violent action. He broke up socialist rallies. He smashed leftist presses and attacked farmers' cooperatives. Fascist gangs used intimidation and terror to oust elected officials in northern Italy. And many Italians agreed with these policies too, because they lost faith in the idea and process and progress of a constitutional government. And they thought, man, get out of here. So 1922, fascists are going to make a bid for power. It's called the March on Rome. Test question. And fearing civil war, Victor Emmanuel. Hey, that name sounds familiar. Victor Emmanuel III. So this is the son of Victor Emmanuel II. And he asked Mussolini to form a government and act as prime minister. So by doing this, he received legal constitutional appointment from the king to lead Italy. And this is legitimacy. This is a legit ruler getting appointed from the king, who is the leader of Italy, our guy, Victor Emmanuel. And he doesn't want civil war to happen. He understands the government hasn't been doing its thing. So you seem like you know something. So we'll put you in power. Good idea, bad idea. We'll see. So that's a picture of Benito Mussolini wearing, yes, you guessed it, a black shirt. So Mussolini's rule. At first, only a few fascists held cabinet positions in government, but by 1925, Mussolini is going to proclaim himself Il Duce. That's an extra credit question. Pay attention on your test. Il Duce. And when he was in power, he's basically a dictator now, people. He's basically a dictator. He suppressed rival parties. He muzzled the press. He rigged elections. He replaced elected officials with fascist supporters. In 1929, he received support from Pope Pius XI for returning the Vatican City as an independent state, even though he disagreed with some of his hashtag goals. So even though he was kind of anti-Catholic, anti-religion, the leader of the Catholic world supports Mussolini. Yeah, interesting. Italy at the time remained a parliamentary monarchy, Victor Emmanuel, the leader, right? But in fact, it was a dictatorship upheld by terror under Mussolini. Critics of Mussolini and the government would be thrown into prison, forced into exile, or murdered. And using his secret police and propaganda only bolstered his regime, made it stronger, so you can't really do much. So the Moose is in charge. So I nicknamed him Moose. The Moose. Mussolini sounds like the Moose. I nicknamed him that. His nickname is actually Il Duce. But I like the Moose because, you know, his name is long. So the Moose is in charge. So under his leadership, to spur economic growth because chaos was ensuing, and to end conflicts between employers and workers, Mussolini brought the economy under state control, however, still preserving the ideas and functions of capitalism. Under his corporate state representatives, business, labor, and the government, and the Fascist Party controlled agriculture, industry, and trade. Kind of almost like communism, but not really. Mussolini's system favored the upper classes and industrial leadership. Although production increased, success came at the expense of the workers, obviously. They were forbidden to go on strike, and wages were kept low to increase profits and make the rich richer. These blank are loyal. Under Mussolini, loyalty to the state replaced conflicting individual goals. The fascist test question, this is all a test question. To fascists, the glorious state was all important, and the individual was unimportant except as being a member of the state. So no real enlightenment going on here, people. Men were urged to be ruthless, selfless warriors fighting for the glory of Italy. I don't know why it says Og Italy. I need to change that. Women were pushed out of paying jobs. Mussolini called for women to, quote, win the battle of motherhood. So go back to your homes. And the women that had more than 14 children were given a medal by Il Duce himself. Extra credit question. Yeah, we're beginning this one hot. How many medals did Il Duce give? Is this true or is this false? Like, I want to know. So look that up for me. How many medals were actually given by Il Duce himself to Italian women citizens who had more than 14 children? Is that real, or was that just a ploy? And of course, shaping the youth was a major fascist goal. He would teach, the fascist party would teach children to obey strict military discipline, and boys and girls learned the glories of ancient Rome. Now, that might be all fun, nice and dandy, lollipops and rainbows, but we all know that the Roman Empire fell. So it's nice to teach about the glories of that time period, but you also got to talk about both sides, people. Talk about both sides. Just like in world history, America isn't just the greatest country ever. We have some bad goons and goblins. We have some bad skeletons ourselves. So it's not all nice and dandy. Okay. So you're sitting in here in virtual room 134, wondering, what in the gosh dang tootin' world is fascism, right? Me too. So this is a test question because I'm going to ask you in a Venn diagram format. So on your test, you're going to compare and contrast fascism and, of course, our favorite, communism. And you're going to compare the two. Okay. And these next couple slides detail that. So make sure you take them notes. Anywho, what is fascism? Historians still debate to the extent which Mussolini's fascist ideology comes from. Mussolini coined the term, but fascists have no unifying theory, kind of unlike Marxists, because Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, they actually wrote a book. Mussolini didn't. So the definition is fascism is used to describe any centralized authoritarian government that is not communist, whose policies glorify the state over the individual and are destructive to basic human rights. So when you hear that term fascism thrown around in today's political atmosphere, use this definition to compare that is our country fascist, is this other country fascist. When you hear that term fascism, you should ingrain that definition into your brain, okay? All forms of fascism share some of the basic features because there are different types, as there are different leaders who we will talk about. They glorified action, violence, discipline, and above all, blind loyalty to the state. They also pursued aggressive foreign expansion plans, quote, survival of the fittest, and fascist leaders are going to glorify warfare as a noble struggle for survival. So they're going to favor warfare. Fascists were anti-democratic. They rejected faith and reason, bye-bye Enlightenment, and the concepts of equality and liberty. Bye-bye French Revolution. Bye-bye American Revolution. I just like waving my hand like this. To them, democracy led to corruption and weakness and put the individual or class interests above national goals. Ooh, democracy, bad. Wow. Instead, though, fascists are going to emphasize emotion and supremacy of the state. So that's all appealing, right? Right. This is going to appeal to many Italians because Italia, it promised a strong, stable government and an end to the political feuding that had paralyzed democracy in Italy. Mussolini projected this sense of power and confidence at a time of disorder and despair, and Mussolini's intense nationalism revived national pride. All right, so continue on with that communism versus fascism. Okay, communism versus fascism, and I'm going to use the Mortal Kombat voice. Fight. So fascists were the sworn enemies of socialists and communists. Remember, socialism is that big old umbrella term, and communist falls under it. While communists worked for international change, fascists sought nationalists' goals. Fascists supported a society with defined classes. They found allies among business leaders, wealthy landowners, and the lower middle class. Communists, as we've learned, touted a classless society. They once supported both urban and agricultural workers and poor peasants. But the two ideologies had some common ground. Their agreement, they all share blind devotion to state or leader, using terror to guard power. They flourish under economic hard times by promoting extreme programs of social change, aka this is also during the 1920s, Stalin's rise and Mussolini's rise happened during the 1920s, and then whoop, Great Depression, and they're still in power. So they get through the struggles, still in power, promoting these extreme programs for social change to get them by. And, surprise, surprise, that's how Hitler gained so much popularity and comes into power. So these extreme programs actually benefit. And the party elite claimed to rule in the name of national interests, the Fascist Party or the Communist Party. And hey, we are done. That was quick. That was fun. Yeah. Hopefully you guys did enjoy that. Your homework is page 438, 3 through 6. Let me look now. 438, 3 through 6. Okay. So, yeah, it's a quick unit. It's only 3 sections. Okay. This one, 13.3, 13.4, 13.5, all about Mussolini, Stalin, and Hitler. So I'm gonna have a test right quick. So keep up with your notes. Yeah, if you did like the video, make sure you smash that like button. Help Mr. O'Vie get some YouTube cred. Anyways, as always, stay safe, wash your hands. Peace.